Salam and good evening, worthy friends. Welcome to Agrabah, city of flying carpets, soaring heroes, famous love ballads, and more glitz and glamour than any other fictional city in the world. But more importantly, the city that contains a tale of the diamond in the rough, Aladdin. My second favourite Disney film, second to only Hercules. Only just behind Hercules, we'll give it that. Especially in recent years, it's definitely bumped up. But yes, we are in my little recreation of Agrabah, nowhere near done. Shouldn't really be showing you this, because I don't want to show you it unfinished, but there you go, you've had a little sneak peek. What I do want to show you, though, is underneath the palace. I've already treated you to a glimpse of the Cave of Wonders too, definitely being spoiled here today. However, Aladdin the musical. I wanted to recreate the musical, and I thought the perfect place to house it would be within the palace. So I actually went with under the palace, because I thought I'm not going to have dungeons, and also it's a big space. So we come into a theatre lobby, which is, well, as soon as we get in there, you'll see it's kind of based on the Prince Edward Theatre in London, if you've ever been there. Well, that's currently where Aladdin the musical is being held. I say currently, only for a few more weeks. It's fine. That's actually why this came about. So when it was announced that the show was closing last year, that's when I went, oh, okay, I can't cope with that going. I need some way to be able to remember it. Well, I've got so many happy memories with the show, which we'll go into, but I needed to have it in its entirety. I just needed something, and clearly my coping mechanism for grief is to recreate something in Minecraft. But yes, you'll see that we've got the theatre. I've added a quiet room, because we need to be accessible, obviously. However, it may have just been because I had a bit of empty space, so I thought I'll chuck that in there because I needed it to be symmetrical with the staircase over there. Yeah, we'll go with that. But anyway, we've got the doors, and I could start. Yeah, let's just head in. That's going to be the easiest thing. Dun dun dun. So, if anybody knows the Prince Edward Theatre, should look pretty similar. Obviously, it's very Minecrafty, but this bottom floor is certainly the most stylized of it. There's definitely less seating because think of it, Minecraft block is 1 meter by 1 meter, so the aisles are definitely not 2 meters wide, are they? But right, let's head over to here, because this is actually the where I sat the first time I came. I was lucky enough to be invited down. Oh, I need to declare all that, don't I? Hashtag add gifted to the first ever autism friendly performance. It was the first West End show that I was ever able to attend, first musical I ever attended. I'd just been to the theatre 1 month before for Curious Incident. However, this was the first time in London, proper big show. I absolutely loved it, made a review, the cast all saw it, Disney sent me stuff, and even a few months later, they asked me to come down to advertise for the following year's Relax performance. So I made a video, then I got to watch the show in its full glory after that, and I sat here, then got invited to that Relax performance, sat here, and then I actually bought tickets the last time I saw it, which was a few months ago. We entered the lottery because we really wanted to see Courtney Reed, who's the original Broadway Jasmine. And yes, buying tickets was strange for me. It's the first time I've ever bought tickets to the theatre. Hashtag first world problems, oops. But yeah, anyway, so we got to see it for like the closest we've ever seen it. And I've got a pretty good memory, so whenever I see stuff, I remember it, like, detail for detail. So it meant for quite an easy ride when creating the musical. The only limitations were the fact that it's Minecraft. And anybody who plays Minecraft will know that it's limited in terms of how you can move blocks about and stuff like that. And the fact, as I said, 1 by 1 meter is kind of your level of detail, which is, yeah, doesn't work in the most beautifully dazzling detailed musical that there ever was. I could keep talking about the show, or I could just show you it now as a quick time lapse, and then I'll tell you more about it afterwards. So let's get comfy, and I shall fade into my little time lapse. If you've seen the show, you should be able to recognise bit by bit. There's so much that went into that, and you can see why it's taken me a year to do it, and I'm so glad I've managed to finish it before the show closes, because I'm not going to get to be able to see the show again before it closes, unfortunately. I can't afford tickets, but oh well. But this is my equivalent of getting it done, and I wanted to almost do it as, like, you know, kind of a send-off to the show as my thank you to it. Because yeah, the show definitely means a lot for me. Like I love the show. It means a lot to me professionally, because it's the first time a company took a chance on me in making videos and stuff like that. A big company, Disney. Anyway, let's head back downstairs and I can show you how it all works. My backstage area admittedly is not done. I've put the focus on making the actual show run, but this will all come over time, obviously. As I said, I wanted to rush this video up because the actual show's complete, so why not show you all this? Right, so we head down into the floor below. The way this works is there are big warehouses. I'll explain more of how it... Well, basically it's a big stop motion. The entire thing is a stop motion thing, and I just need to give us some night vision potion. There we go, can actually see now. What this is here is a big computer, that's the best way to describe it. Well, two separate computers actually, one for each act. So, all of these work on a trigger basis. So you can push a button upstairs and it will move this redstone block along, which will activate the command blocks on top of it. Now you may think that, there's a few command blocks here, but surely that's not enough to run all that. And you are right, because a lot of these command blocks are simply blocks that, in fact, let's find one for example. Here we go. They trigger some blocks upstairs. And let me show you upstairs. Let's head up there now. Here we go. This is more like it. We've got a few layers. Oh, no, I didn't end up using them. Oh, cool. But we've got some extra ones here, but the main floor of everything happening is all up here. This is essentially like a massive stop motion machine, and what it does is it flicks between frames, it makes certain things happen. And yeah, so each step corresponds to a different one of these. Simply what will happen is, well, the way it actually happens is it sets that as a redstone block, and then this command block this way, it puts a 2-tick delay, which will set that block to air, so it sends a 2-tick pulse this way to activate all these. And yeah, they all do various different tasks. Some of them have, most of them are clone commands to be able to do the stop motion effect, but some things are things like particles, which is only a recent addition. I've literally only added particles in the last 5 days because I hadn't been able to get them work. So getting them working was like, right, okay, cool, I'm just going to do it, I'm going to finish the entire show. There's other things like triggering the light mechanisms, so we can turn all the lights off in the theatre. That's how that works. So look, this one redstone block controls all them. But let's explain more of the stop motion stuff. So I'm going to head back downstairs. Now, I think the best scene to be able to explain this fully is going to be the very first one. So when, for those who have seen the musical again, you'll know this, but, oh, I forgot you've never been, we can fix that, and then the curtain rises and it turns into Agrabah. I've just come up the same bit, well done me. So, right, the way it works down here, and there's probably way more efficient ways of doing this, is like a stop motion. So imagine you've got Lego figures or whatever. That's the very first scene. We've got the curtain up. I've got a separate command which puts a hole of air in, and it makes a bigger hole of air every time, so it looks like the curtain's dropping down. It's an illusion. This is all illusions. And so we go from that step to now on this one, that back one's rised one. Now that back one's rised 2, and the second one's rised up 1, etc. So you can see these are starting to rise up. Look, we've now got our banners. There's 15 steps to this one, which is obviously nowhere near enough, but you can only go one block up at a time. So look, bit by bit, turning into Agrabah. Look, there's little bits where I've cheated, like, obviously I don't need the entire thing, so you only need what's being shown until it's all done. So a little bit of theatre trickery there, but what is theatre without illusions? And let's head down for the last strip. Dun dun dun. Oh, don't go up those stairs. There we go. The side ones are moving in with the back halves chopped off. I think the gaps would have been better off 3 wide in between these, but oh well, I built it all, and that would make the stage massive. Because that's the thing, as I said, this is 1 metre, so to try and keep it, like, I could have gone bigger and make it more detailed, but I wanted to keep it kind of true to scale, because look, now I can interact properly, and yeah. But there we go. Finished scene, I believe. Don't think there's any more. But yeah, so that's how it works. There's a little stop motion thing, and well, you can see the size of this. There's certain little extra things built in, so there's some of these observer blocks, so when this stage, in fact this is in Friend Like Me, so why don't you ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities. So that, as soon as this stage is copied in to make the back bit blue, See, that's how I make it blue, just a layer of stained blue glass, because I can't do coloured lighting. That really frustrates me. If I could do coloured lighting, this whole musical would be so much better. But anyway, as that's copied in, this does a long delay, and then that bottom one is for the particles for a puff of smoke, and the top one is to move it along to the next stage, well, the previous stage, which is the microphone popped up, and the lights all differently. Oh, in fact, this is quite an important thing to explain, how my lighting works, because you could see that I had dynamic lighting, but there's no like overheads, and you can't do spotlights in Minecraft and stuff like that. So the way I did that is these bases are all solid, and this is the base that lives on the floor. However, with sandstone blocks, you can have half slabs. Half slabs are what allows light through. So speckled throughout here are different half slabs. So that one under there will be a half slab, and underneath the actual stage, you may have seen it briefly, but there's a load of glowstone. So if I want all the lights off, I just have a solid base where it's all full bricks, but if I want it really light, I do loads of half slabs, and yeah, that's very much how it's built in. How far did I go here? Look, so some of them I don't need to change the entire stage. All of those ones up there, you can see the development. This has taken a year, so obviously over time I've learnt shortcuts. Like with the carpet rising up and the palace windows opening, I didn't need to do the entire stage. I only needed to change the first bit. And you know, had I planned it all out properly, there's probably elements further on in the show which I could reuse in the beginning. But yeah, it's just basically there's a load of trickery and all illusions to try and make it look something that looks like the actual show. Like obviously it's not going to be perfect, but yeah, I think it's a good enough attempt, which is what I'm happy with. Like you could act out the entire show if you got enough people on a server, which this is never going on a server because I don't want people touching my world. Then yeah, you could reenact the entire musical, which is what I want to. And for me to just be able to flick through and watch the musical, that's really satisfying for me. But some of these backdrops, for instance... Oh, in fact, the backdrop machine's quite interesting. So, in order to get the sliders working, of course the sliders fall down this bit. In fact, this stage, wait, before we get to the sliders, this is how the stars work in A Whole New World, so you don't really get a chance to see that properly. So I'm just going to insert another clip over while I'm talking quickly. But the way that works is it's fireworks being shot into the back of black hole, because they haven't got the particle effect for fireworks. And what I really wanted, in fact I'm going to insert another clip now, is what's available on computer, where you can control the size of particles. So the way I've done that on there is using the evaporation across the floor to create the smoke across the floor. That's the only thing I haven't got in this version, annoyingly. And then I've used N-rods particles to create the stars all around. But I don't have that on Pocket Edition, so we just have to go with that. But, well, I say Pocket Edition, it's Bedrock Edition, isn't it? So what I do, I have observers that they obviously know when they're copied in, and this is a little looping machine that just fires fireworks constantly. And I've timed it, so there's enough fireworks in there for the exact duration of the song. Obviously, I'm not going to show you the entire the entire thing now. You're just going to have to trust me on that one. Do you trust me? Ha! Funny. But yes, that's how that works. The slider machines. Dun dun dun. So we have a few slots here where what happens is I copy bits in from various parts across the entire warehouses. In fact, these are the stored ones here, and they get copied into these three slots. And these slots are 1 by 2, well, they're 2 in width to accommodate for stages, for sliders like this one, which is layered. And it simply pastes it at the top with a gap, and then paste it, and yeah, and then it works its way down stage. I think that is actually kind of the majority of how it works. I don't, I could obviously show you every little trick out there, but yeah, this is the majority of how it works, and I'm really happy with it. Simple things like this is the prison in Somebody's Got Your Back. Oh, there's just so many little Easter eggs that it is the musical to me, and I want to make the Jafar effect better at the end. That's definitely something on the list. I definitely don't think I'm done with this. I think what I'll end up doing is improving it over time, but this is the first full musical I've ever made on Minecraft, And yes, it's taken a year, but that's a year, you know, every few days. I've not been able to work on it every single day as much as I'd love to. And I've learnt a lot. So, where the future of this then? Whilst I would absolutely love to see people who love the musical seeing this, I've got my sights set on the next projects, and I'm just going to give you a little glimpse into them now. So one of my favourite lands that I've started building is off a little Disney film. You may have heard of it, and I'm purposely got my head down because I want a grand reveal. There we go, there it is, Pride Rock. I love how that looks. That took 15 hours to build that rock, in case you're interested. But I've started building a theatre within Pride Rock. So I've started building this, but I've actually stopped. So this is going to have a cliff hill over it, so it'll all be disguised in, but this is the big space for it. But this is currently etched out to be the exact same size theatre as the Aladdin one. However, I want to base it on the Lyceum, but I've never seen the show, and I can't build the show until I've seen the show. So I'm holding off on this one for now. But as soon as, or maybe if I can find some 360 image inside of the theatre, I can build it from that. And then just put one scene on stage until I'm able to actually make it work. But the one I'm more excited about, now, I don't want to show too much of this land because I'm going to do a whole video on it. However, ancient Greece. Dun dun dun. If you recall in the film Hercules, well, I've filmed my generic ancient Greece to be Thebes, and you can kind of see a corner of it there. And you will know if you've seen the film, near Thebes is where there was a Hydra attack in a valley. And I thought, well, that big valley is kind of like amphitheatre-ish, so why don't I make a big amphitheatre? Oh, look at my rubbish Hydra. I was just playing about with how I could make something. I'm not happy with that, so that's going to go. However, huge amphitheatre, big stage, Hercules the Musical's coming. Obviously, it's in the works at the moment. I do like kind of the cyclical structure of that, how Aladdin's going to end at the end of this month, and then Hercules is going to have its first performance in the world. It's very, it's very fitting for me, I feel. And it means I've got that to look forward to. So I won't get to see it in New York. I'd love to, but there's no chance of me getting to New York. I won't get on a plane. But yeah, so as soon as I've seen at least an image of that show, I'm going to create at least one scene, and then hopefully, yeah, I'll be able to have the full Hercules musical, which will be the shabam, if Aladdin isn't that already. Now for this next one, well, actually the last thing that's already been built, I've never been able to see this musical because it's never been to the UK. However, I've listened to the soundtrack, and it's the most incredible thing. So this is based on set pictures. But this is the Hunchback musical. This is actually inside my version of the Notre Dame, which needs a bit more decoration, and that's a whole video in itself anyway, but this is a pretty good recreation of the set. And yeah, I love this musical so much, so I can't wait to see it in some version, to be able to make things actually work. Of course, I'll also create musicals like Beauty and the Beast, Tarzan, Little Mermaid, Frozen, maybe Mary Poppins. I'm still a little bit annoyed with it, as that's the show that's replacing Aladdin, although I'm slightly less annoyed with it now I know someone who's going to be in it, so that's cool. I'll have to go and see it for them, obviously. But yeah, I'm so proud of this, and the fact it's taken a year, and it looks the way it does, I'm really happy with the result, and the fact I've got this forever. This is my memory of the show, and it puts in so many things. So, you know, of course, I'll build the backstage, I'll build little things in like that, I'll improve the show, obviously more particles will be added over time so I can add more effects, and yeah, maybe one day we'll have coloured lighting, who knows. But thank you all very much for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed, looking at the show and seeing the behind the scenes of it. I absolutely love the show so much, and I'm so sad it's over. If anybody is watching this from the show, thank you so much for just everything, and you know, the specific people who have obviously been even more, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye.